All right. We're back for our second half of the lesson for the Levite School of Music. Again, this is Samuel Elliott, and we were talking about our 5 progressions that we were doing from C to E minor in second inversion, to F in second inversion, and then to G in second inversion. And again, let's look at that real quick so you can see it in our note flight. I'm just going to go over it one more time. We have C to our E minor, F to our G, and back to our C. And those of you, again, that have not seen our prior lessons, remember that when we're talking about a 6/4, I want to look at our second note, which is the E6/4. Look at the second measure where we have the B, the E, and the G. Again, that's a 6/4, meaning second inversion. It is also the third of the chord. Remember, if we're looking at our Nashville number system at the bottom, see where we have our numeral, Roman numeral, 1, 3, 4, 5, and 1. 1 being C. E, of course, would be our 3. 1, 2, 3 being our third. F being our fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as we know what 1 is, we can guess, we can already know what everything else is. So if 1 is C, 1, 2, 3 is E, 1, 2, 3, 4 is F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is G, and then of course back to 1. That's what the Roman numerals at the bottom, also known as the Nashville number system, which helps us when we want to transpose these things. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a while. But I just want to again focus on that E minor 6/4, which is the second one, which is a 3. Our regular E minor in root position would be, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, it's 1, 2, 3. It would be E, G, and B, right? And again, because it's a 6/4, we take our top note, right, which would be a B, and we drop it down here, an octave lower, so that we would have a 6/4. Where we get our 6/4? Well, from B to E, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our fourth. And from B to G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's where we get our 6/4. Why do we do that? Again, because inversions help us have what we call smoother voicing. Because when we move from C, all we're doing is moving down to the B and keeping our common tones E and G. So with those inversions, it really is very helpful when we are using those inversions. All right, and from there, of course, I'm just moving up to the F, inverted, G, inverted, and back to C. All right, so what I want to do is kind of go to what we can do with our left hand. Something that we can do with our left hand. It's a little bit more, it might be a little complicated. Let's start with the easy way of doing things. What we can do is we can kind of give, let me see if we can bring this up so you can see my fingers a little bit. What we can do is we can try just with the octaves. Let's try just octaves, where we have the octaves starting with C, right? And of course we're going to move up a third to the E, 1, 2, 3, which would be the E, and then go up to the F, and then the G, right? So we're just going to do it octaves for now. Again, I'll do the root position, C, E, G, octaves, the inverted E, right? And then we have the F. Again, we're keeping the octaves on the left hand. The F inverted, 6/4 on the right, and up to the G. All right, so we're just going to do octaves for now. All right. Into the G. And again, millions of songs just use these this particular chord progression, right? Okay. Okay, now this time what I'm gonna do is in the left hand, I'm gonna try something a little bit more difficult. I'm gonna have the C, the G, which is the fifth, and then I'm gonna put the third at the top. Okay, usually you would see it in root position C, E, G, right? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this E and I'm gonna put it at the top. So it's a little bit of a stretch. And I'm gonna show you what I'm doing here. What I'm gonna do is I'm using my pinky or finger 5 on the E, on the C, I'm sorry. Finger 2 on the G and finger 1 on the E. So it's kind of a stretch. Nice little stretch there. As you can see, let me bring it up a little bit. See that? All right, so it's a bit of a stretch there. I'm gonna bring it down. It's a lot easier when you bring your fingers down. Just kind of bring it up so you can see it on the camera. And then I'm gonna put that against the root position C. Yeah. All right, you can arpeggiate it, right? All right, when I move to the E, I'm gonna do the same thing. What I did was here is normally you would have an E, root position E, G, B, right? I'm taking this middle, a third of the chord, and I'm putting put it up. So same fingerings. I have the same fingerings, 1, 2, 5. I'm sorry, 5, 2, and 1. So it's a bit of a stretch, right? Okay, and I'm going to do the inversion at the top that we've learned already. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing for the F. Same fingerings, 5, 2, 1, right? And the same thing for the G, right? So it's a bit of a stretch that you got to get used to, right? And again, arpeggiate it. We'll kind of go back and forth, and G. It gives it kind of an, just a motion. It gives it a motion. I am creating a melody at the top. I'm sorry. We'll talk a little bit about melody later on in one of our lessons. Arpeggio. Arpeggiating it through the F chord, and to the G. All right. So that's a nice progression. A nice little progression that you can use to kind of create, composition for yourself. It kind of inspires you. I always thought that progressions kind of inspire musicians or songwriters to kind of a beginner, a basis of where to begin your melodies or where to begin your lyrics. And as we develop our lessons, that's the idea. How could we begin with our chord progressions, pick a particular chord progression, and then from there, develop that chord progression into a full song. So the first thing I want to do again is just teach these basic chord progressions. And then we're going to go back and actually take a chord progression and develop a full out composition and see how we can create melody to it, add different kinds of strings and different kinds of... I got a friend here, Mozart. Say hi to Mozart. He's here helping me out. This is my dog, Mozart. And it's always, every time there's music around, he always comes around to listen. So again, as I was saying, we're going to take these progressions, and from there, what we'll do is we will develop just learning the progressions. And from there, how do I take those progressions and develop a song with it? And that's the idea of what I'm doing here at the Levite School of Music. Listen. Again, enjoy the rest of the, the lessons that we're doing. Again, we are in a YouTube channel in HD, and you can find those lessons there. And practice each and every one of them, because we're eventually going to go back. And I always try to do that one touches upon the other, one develops the other. So last week we did have kind of the chords that were similar, but we keep adding every week something new, something fresh, so that you can practice. Again, practice in every key. If you have any questions for me, don't hesitate. If there's a song that you really want to learn and we can break down chord progressions, that would be great. I don't mind creating a lesson just for that. So God bless, and hope to hear from you soon.